March had arrived in full bloom, painting San Francisco in vibrant colors and stirring something deep within me. The city had a way of coming alive in spring, with the air fresher, the sky clearer, and everything around me brimming with possibility. As the days grew longer, I felt it, that familiar rush of restless energy, the kind that made staying still feel impossible. The world was calling, urging me to move, explore, and seek out something new. Most weekends, I found myself either on the tennis courts or out in the water, chasing waves that offered a brief reprieve from the day-to-day routine of university life. But no matter how many sets I played or how many waves I caught, it never felt like enough. My mind always wandered to the next adventure, the next place waiting to be discovered. It wasn't just a passing desire. It was a pulse, a heartbeat that thrummed louder with each passing day. Lately, Sebastian had been weaving his way into my life more often. It was easy with him, effortless in a way that didn't feel like it required too much of me. We hadn't labeled anything, and that suited me just fine. Casual, light, uncomplicated. Yet there was a small part of me that started to wonder where or if he fit into the bigger picture of my life. I liked him more than I'd expected to, but I wasn't ready to be tied down. Not when the world still had so much left for me to explore. We'd spent a few weekends together after that first meeting, our conversations flowing easily, even though our worlds seemed so different. His charm was undeniable, and I found myself smiling more than I realized when we were together. He moved through life with a confidence that came naturally, always surrounded by people, always in the center of things. Me? I wasn't looking for the next social gathering. I was looking for the next horizon, the next rush of adrenaline from the unknown. As the weekend approached, I felt the tug of the ocean stronger than ever. The idea of staying on campus, surrounded by the noise and chatter of everyday life, felt suffocating. I needed to get out, to feel the salt spray on my skin and the pull of the waves beneath me. I sent Sebastian a text, knowing that he might find the idea of an early morning surf trip less appealing than I did. But I didn't care. I wanted to share this part of me with him, see if he could keep up with the pace of my world. The next morning, standing on Pacifica Beach, I took in the familiar sights. The sand stretched out before me, soft underfoot, while the ocean rolled and crashed in the distance. The wind whipped through my hair, and the early morning fog clung to the horizon, slowly giving way to the rising sun. It was perfect, the kind of morning that reminded me why I loved this city, this coastline, this feeling of being on the edge of something vast and unpredictable. When Sebastian arrived, looking half awake but with that familiar grin on his face, I couldn't help but feel a small surge of excitement. There was something about sharing these moments with someone that made them feel even more alive. The ocean roared, the waves crashing with power, but there was a calm in the rhythm of it all. This was my element, my sanctuary, and for the first time, I was letting him into it. Paddling out into the water, I felt the coolness seep into my skin, invigorating and grounding. The ocean had a way of putting everything into perspective. Here, on the board, riding the rise and fall of the waves, the noise of life faded away, leaving only the pulse of the sea beneath me. Sebastian wasn't as confident in the water as he was on land, but I admired the way he pushed through, determined to find his balance, even when the waves knocked him down. Watching him struggle and find his footing reminded me that this unpredictable dance with the ocean was what I loved most about surfing. It wasn't about controlling the wave or forcing it to bend to my will. It was about letting go, trusting the flow of the water and moving with it, not against it. The moment you tried to fight it, you lost. And that, I realized, was a lesson that applied to more than just the ocean. As the day wore on and the sun climbed higher in the sky, I found myself feeling lighter, freer. Sebastian wasn't a natural surfer, but that didn't matter. What mattered was that he showed up, that he was here, willing to try something new, to experience a world that was so different from his own. I could see the exhaustion in his eyes by the time we made our way back to shore, but I could also see the spark of something else. Maybe it was the thrill of having stepped out of his comfort zone, or maybe it was just the simple joy of having survived the waves. Sitting on the beach as the sun began its slow descent, I let the warmth of the day soak into my skin. The boards lay forgotten behind us, and the steady rhythm of the ocean played in the background, a soundtrack to the quiet moment we shared. I leaned back, watching the horizon where the sky met the sea, and felt a sense of contentment settle over me. For now, this was enough. No pressure, no expectations, just the promise of whatever came next. Sebastian had stepped into my world for the day, and I had to admit, he had handled it well. Maybe that was all I needed right now. Someone who was willing to roll with the waves, to take life as it came without trying to anchor me down. And as I watched the sun sink lower, casting the sky in hues of orange and pink, I knew that I was exactly where I needed to be, free to chase the next adventure, wherever it might take me.